Welcome to the I Can Do Anything podcast. My name is Colin, and I wish I would have been in fucking Portland last night. Damion Lillard, holy shit. What a fucking game. This is the I Can Do Anything podcast, and I'm basically going to be talking about Damion Lillard. Because I can do anything, and Damion Lillard was phenomenal last night. What a fucking game. I woke up and worked out this morning, and I had this inkling I knew there were 4 games on last night, so I wanted to be able to touch on as many of those games as I could today. So while I rode the elliptical, I wanted to watch the highlights and at least get a base of all the games, and then go back and watch the full games of the ones that were close, given the highlights that I watched. So I turned the TV on. And switch it to SportsCenter, and the Blazers Thunder highlight is just starting. And so I watched that, and the way they kind of teed it up on SportsCenter was they showed the Trailblazers possession where Dame drove and tied it. He hit like a difficult contested 2, tied the game, and then they just let it roll. They didn't cut at all. So they show Russ bring the ball up the floor, take a fucking crazy layup, which I'm going to touch on a lot more. Missed the layup. Potentially could have been a foul, but I think, given the situation, given that it wasn't obvious, probably a good call to not call a foul there. And I think Russ just makes it look worse than it actually is, taking an out of control crazy layup, and really forcing a shot, and then they just let it roll right through into the next possession, and Scott Van Pelt was doing the what would that be? Scott Van Pelt was hosting. It was early in the morning, so it was SportsCenter at night with Scott Van Pelt, and he was talking through it. And Scott Van Pelt's great, and he hit that shot. And the way that Scott Van Pelt queued it up, I knew that I felt like I knew what was going to happen. Sort of. I just didn't know that it was going to happen that way. And the clock's running down to like 4 to 3 seconds, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And then he just fucking steps back and buries what the announcer called a 37-footer, and that's what everybody's calling it. Do they really know? Like, was it actually 37 feet? I'm on the NBA website right now, and it says Lillard drills 37-footer to win series. I've seen that all over the place. 37-footer. Damion Lillard, 37-footer at the buzzer. Was it really 37 feet? But yeah, when I saw it, I like viscerally threw my hands in the air and cheered in the empty workout room in the MTI Center at Trine, and like got a little teary and like was just like laughing by myself of joy. What a fuck! So I went back, so I watched the highlights, and then today, while I worked, I watched the entire game. What a fucking game! What an amazing game! That first quarter was amazing. Damion Lillard had 19 in the first quarter. Paul George had 15 in the first quarter. Dame had 30-something, 32 or 33 or something like that at halftime. There was a stat, I think it was during the game, or maybe I saw it on Inside the NBA. 48%. Damion Lillard was 48% from 3-point in this series. I don't know. That's not. I guess it's not crazy, but it's pretty fucking good, especially considering. You know what? It is pretty crazy. 48% for a series over, what was it, 5 games, is fucking really good. Especially given the contested and just the degree of difficulty of the shots that he was taking, the threes that he was taking in particular, especially that last one. But a lot of them were really heavily contested. He made some really, really difficult shots. I believe he was 10 of 18 from three, finished with 50 points. I mean, what an incredible performance. I don't really know what else to say about it. The Thunder were up. It was a really back and forth game. The Thunder Portland was up by 6-ish. I think 6 was their biggest lead in that third quarter. And then just like that, the Thunder were up by, were they up by 15? I think it was 15 with 7 minutes left, or like 6:55 left in the game. And then the Trailblazers slowly brought it back to within 6 or so, and then 3, and then it was back and forth. The Thunder really, really fucked that end of the game up. I mean, there were a couple possessions where where Russell Westbrook just took just horrible possessions where they don't get any ball movement. They basically just try a screen and roll, and it doesn't work for the majority of the possession. And then Russell Westbrook's on an island, with really it's not like he's got an entire half of the floor. He was like just to the left of the center line. If you split the court in half, hot dog style. And with defenders on help side defenders on either side to shut off driving lanes, and just takes a terrible three. And there were a couple possessions where Paul George dribbled into traffic and lost the ball, and they went the other way. Just a lot of turnovers, a couple wild shots from Russell Westbrook driving to the basket. There was one where he drove and Damion Lillard took a charge. Just too many stupid mistakes down the stretch for the Thunder. And then for Russ to take that final shot, like Paul George was unreal in that game. I think he made his first 6 or 7 shots, or maybe his first 5 or 6 shots, and played really, really well. You got to wonder if Paul George is really, really regretting staying in OKC after 2 first-round exits, one to a rookie last year and Donovan Mitchell and the Jazz, and now to the Trailblazers, who are no slouches with Damion Lillard and CJ McCollum, but the Cantor injury is going to be pretty important for him to play through. He's a really important piece, especially after losing Yusuf Nurkic. But they're, nobody really, other than Damion Lillard and CJ McCollum, nobody really, jumps out at you. Seth Curry came in and was 3 of 8, 1 of 4 from 3, had 7 points. Myers Leonard only played 5 minutes. Rodney Hood 12, but didn't do too much. Missed 2 shots, grabbed a rebound, and had an assist. Zach Collins gives them some pretty good minutes, but only had 10 points in 2 minutes, 1 assist and 2 rebounds. They really don't get a ton from their bench, especially last night. But yeah, Paul George was shot 70% from the field, 14 of 20 with 36 points, was unconscious in the first quarter, and had a great game. 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Oh, wow. 5 turnovers is not very good. No, that's not good at all. Russ had 5 turnovers as well. 14 assists for Russ, 12 rebounds. But on the last possession of the game, you've got a guy with 29 points who at the time was 11 of 30 from the field and finished 11 of 31 after that miss on the final possession. So finished the game shooting 35.5% from the field, was 4-11 from 3, 36.4% from 3. And then you've got Paul George, who's got 36 points, is shooting 70% from the field, and Russell Westbrook drives in and takes a crazy shot and didn't even really kill much of the clock either, if I remember correctly. I know Dame did a pretty good job of getting a 2-for-1 on that drive before the OKC final possession, which led to the buzzer beater. But just a horrible decision. Like if you're Russell Westbrook in the offseason, you need to seriously evaluate everything about your game. I mean, sure, 12 rebounds, 14 assists, a triple-double, 29 points. That's fine, but you had ample opportunities to win that game, turned the ball over, took wild shots. It's just the ability to not be like, okay, clearly Paul George is playing better than I am. He's, throughout the season, proved that he's a better scorer. Throughout their careers, probably proved that he's a better all-around scorer. To not give up the ball on that final possession and let Paul George get whatever fucking shot he wanted. He was making all different kinds of shots. He was getting anywhere he wanted to on the floor for a majority of the game, and it showed. He shot fucking 70% from the field. And you don't give him the ball at the end of the possession? I understand that it's your franchise. I understand that you're the max salary guy or whatever. That you've been there the longest. You've been there your whole career. But dude, give up the fucking ball. I don't understand, man. Russell Westbrook needs to seriously evaluate himself. Not even just as a basketball player. I'm sure off the court, he's a great guy. He's fucking married. Whatever. He's got a kid. Fine. He doesn't. My dad always talks highly of the NBA guys that don't have tattoos, and Russ doesn't have any tattoos. Cool. Maybe if that makes you a good guy, whatever. But he needs to seriously evaluate himself in the off season. But what a game, man! It was so back and forth. Some amazing shots made. I mean, that is quintessential. That is NBA fucking playoff basketball at its very, very finest. There was a stat shown during the game on Russell Westbrook. So in the 2018 first round, was it the first round? Yeah, it was in last season's first round series against the Jazz. They were talking about notable elimination games where Russell Westbrook plays well and has high point totals, basically. So in the 2018 series, Game 5 against the Jazz, he had 45 points and shot 17 of 39. 39 shots, dude. What are you doing? Now, they won that game, facing elimination. But then 2018 against the Jazz in the first round, Game 6, facing elimination again. He had 46 points, took 43 shots. 43 shots. 46 points, and they lose. Back in 2017, they played Houston, and I think the first or the second round, not sure. He had 47 points, was 15 of 34, and they lost in a Game 5 again. And this year, in 2019, he played the Blazers, only had 29 points, again, 11 of 31 from the field. Too many fucking shots. 11 more shots than Paul George. He took 11 more shots than Paul George, and Paul George finished with, pardon my math, 7 more points. Is that right? Yeah. Took 11 more shots. Paul George finished with 11 more points, or with 7 more points. Oh, the other thing I wanted, fucking Yusuf Nurkic was on the bench, standing up, without crutches. I was amazed that he was fucking standing, let alone without crutches. I don't understand that. Was that fake? Was that leg injury like fucking doctored video? You heard my reaction to it a couple weeks ago on the podcast. He was just fucking standing there on the side of on the bench towards the end of that game. I don't get it. Like, his leg snapped in half. Both bones in his lower leg. What is it, the tibia and the fibula? And he was just standing there. I didn't understand that at all. All right, so the other games from last night. I mean, what a fucking game that was. So I saw the highlight, and then I watched the full game at my office, and watching Damion talk after the game and just seeing the reaction from the fans and the little bye-bye wave, I was like, not crying, but had tears in my eyes, like laughing out loud. I mean, fuck, that was so cool. Then he's so eloquent and just so well spoken and took credit, but wasn't like cocky or overconfident about it, and also dished out a lot of really like just very detailed, what's the word? Very detailed praise to his teammates. It's just, what a fucking guy. Damion Lillard. What a guy. Okay, so the Raptors eliminated the Magic last night in other basketball action. There were 4 games last night. Final score was 115-96. Kawhi had 27 and 7 rebounds. Pascal Siakam had 24 and 6. I don't know what to say about this game. I really don't have anything. Didn't watch it. The Magic are pretty fucking underwhelming. Kyle Lowry had 14 on 60% shooting, 6 of 10 from the field, 9 assists. Yeah, I don't know. The 76ers eliminated the Nets 122-100. Joel Embiid, from the highlights that I saw, it looked like he was playing in the park. He was fucking laughing and smiling and pointing at people and looked really relaxed, dunking on people, just like effortlessly going past people. It was kind of weird. He it almost looked like it was too easy, like he wasn't even playing in the NBA. He had 23 and 11 rebounds in 20 minutes. That one was over pretty quick. They got out to a really, really big lead early on. And the final score was 122-100. It was a 22-point win, but I'm sure it wasn't even that close. If Joel Embiid only played 20 minutes, I know he's nursing somewhat of an injury, or just not an injury. He's hurt. There's a difference between being injured and hurt. If he only played 20 minutes, Jimmy Butler played 26, Harris 26, Redick 26, Ben Simmons 27, Ennis got 20 minutes off the bench, Boban played 13, McConnell played 23. A lot of their bench guys, Bolden played 13 minutes. Some guy whose name I'm not even going to try to pronounce played 12 minutes. Jonathan Simmons played 6 or 10. Greg Monroe played 6. So it looks like maybe the Nets gained some of that point spread back in garbage time. But that 76ers Raptors series is going to be good. I'm really looking forward to that. In the highlights I did see from the Raptors Magic game, there was one possession, a fast break where somebody advanced the ball up to Kawhi Leonard, and he just reached out with one hand, caught that bitch with one hand, palmed it, and didn't bring another hand to it. He just caught it with one hand, snagged it, and then just held it up and went in and dunked. I can't remember if he dunked it or laid it in, but it was very impressive. Probably not. I mean, he very easily could have. It's not like someone was holding his other hand. He very easily probably could have just, used your other hand to at least help secure it, even if you catch it with one hand, to kind of have your other hand there. But certainly impressive. And that's what these NBA guys can do. So the Nuggets and the Spurs, last night, Denver went up 3-2 in the series after a 108-90 win. Kyler Murray had 23 and was inserted into the starting lineup for the Nuggets, I believe. Not Kyler Murray, Jamal Murray. Never mind. Jamal Murray had 23, 56% shooting, 9 of 16 from the field, 4 of 9, 44% from 3, had 7 assists, continues to be really impressive. He was plus 33. Gary Harris was plus 23. Nikola Jokic was plus 27. Paul Millsap plus 31. Wow. They just play really well all around. 14 from Millsap, 40% shooting. Jokic 16, 45% shooting, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, a block. Gary Harris, 15 points, 62% shooting, 3 of 5 from 3. Jokic was 2 of 4 from 3. They all shoot well from the free throw line. 60%, well, 16 of 20. I don't know what that percentage is. Oh, 80%? Yeah. 80% from the free throw line, which is, I don't know, it's not crazy, but it's good enough against the Spurs. Dude, fucking Rudy Gay came off the bench and had 6 in 20 minutes. Rudy Gay is probably the most underwhelming potential superstar that maybe that the NBA's ever seen. So much fucking talent. He's got the body for it. He basically is Kevin Durant. Sorta. I think he's probably a little smaller than Kevin Durant. But you get the idea, right? I mean, okay, he's not Kevin Durant. He's 6'8", 230. So he's like 3 or 4 inches shorter than Kevin Durant. But he's got all the tools. Everything physically. He's a great jumper, or at least he was 5 or 10 years ago. How long's Rudy Gay been in the league? It's got to be more than 12 years, right? Will it tell me that? NBA debut, 12 years in the league. Yeah, what a fucking underwhelming guy. Was up in, what was he, Memphis at the beginning of his career, and then in Toronto, I want to say, or maybe the other way around. I don't know where I'm getting Toronto from. Yeah, Memphis and then Toronto for 2 years. And then Sacramento for 4, and now 2 in San Antonio. Yeah, they're not going to win if Rudy Gay's not playing well. DeMar DeRozan played all right, 17 points, 40% from the field, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, 1 steal. Aldridge had 17. Derek White, another underwhelming performance. Well, I don't know. That's about average for him. 12 points on 5 of 11 shooting, 45.5% from the field. Oh, he averages 17.8 points per game this season. So, yeah. Underwhelming, at least a little bit below average. I still think that's going to be a good series. I don't think, I don't think the Spurs are out of it. My assumption is that that series will go back to San Antonio. I believe it was in Denver last night. I'm trying to think of the court. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in Denver. Yeah, it was. So it'll go back on, what is today? Yeah, it'll go back to San Antonio tomorrow for Game 6. I could see the Spurs winning that game, and then a really good TNT Game 7, which would be on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. So I don't think that series by any means is over now with the Nuggets up 3-2. That's about all I got, I think. That about rounds out. Yeah, it does. That rounds out the games from last night. Tonight, Jazz and Rockets at 8:00. That should be a good game. I was going to talk about. That's what I was going to do. I was going to talk about the games from Monday. However, the Bucks beat the Pistons and finished that series off 127-104. Not a lot to talk about there. The Jazz beat the Rockets 107-91, got 31 points, 19 of which were in the fourth quarter from Mitchell. Crowder contributed 23. James Harden played well from what I remember. I did watch a little bit of that game. James Harden had 30 on 42% shooting, 50% from 3, 6 of 12, 4 assists, 8 fucking turnovers, and they lose. I don't know. I cannot stand James Harden and Russell Westbrook. I don't get it, man. You play well. He plays like shit and they win. In, what was that, game 3? Yeah, game 3, he plays not like shit. He still had 22 points, but he plays not the greatest. didn't shoot very well from the field, and they win. And then he plays well, shoots a pretty good percentage from the field, scores 30, shoots well from 3, but has 8 turnovers, and they lose by, what is that, 16? Yeah. I don't understand. Do these guys really think that they can just win stuff by themselves? I don't understand it. Kyrie leaves LeBron. You really think you can win on your own? You're fucking 6'2". James Harden's big. He's probably 6'7", 240, 230, maybe 220. 6'5", 220. I don't know. You really think you're going to win on your own, James? You need some help, dude. Everybody who's ever won in the NBA had help. Allen Iverson almost did it, but he lost in the fucking playoffs. Probably by, I think they might have got, no, I don't think they got swept. I think they lost in 5 to, I'm pretty sure, the Lakers in the NBA Finals, whatever year that was. Does Russell Westbrook think that he can just do it on his own? And just take whatever, like, oh, it's my team. I'm taking the last shot. Fuck you. You're playing well? Nah, I'll do it. Oh, boy. Yeah, I think that about wraps up the podcast for me tonight, fellas. Fellas and ladies. Is there any ladies listening? Ladies, if you're listening, holla. All right, peace.